The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. Once more into the breach do we go, dear friends. Right now we're up almost 11 points on the S&P cash at 2142, volume at 2.4 billion shares, so just a little bit more than we had yesterday. Volume at the end of the day came in at about, what was it? I'll look at it for sure, but I remember it was about 800 million shares short of what we needed to confirm that we were headed higher and that this was some kind of breakout move. I actually think that this is one of these days that is a gift to traders. We'll talk more about that.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
What? No beep? They're sitting down on the job over there. What else do we have going on out here? Well, like I said, volume was very light on the S&Ps and even lighter on the NASDAQ yesterday, even compared to just going down a few points on Friday. That suggests that that Friday low will be at least tested before we go higher. Dollar index is up 18 cents. I suspect that the Fed and the Treasury and everybody that has been trying to gin up kind of a market that is illusionarily saying that everything is fine. But that's probably over tomorrow. We're going to hear a lot more. Whoever wins the election within 24 hours, I suspect the market will shrug that off, and they'll start thinking about higher interest rates throughout all of next year. And many people, including Fed presidents from the New York, the San Francisco, said that the Fed is way behind the power curve, and they were 4 rate hikes next year. So we've got people that are starting to sneak out there and saying, hey, we got some problems in this economy. We got everybody wanting to jump in the stock market, even though it looks like for the next year, year and a half, earnings are probably going to be pulling back. So I don't see a real big problem remaining short. We're kind of in some of my positions in the B to C leg of an ABC down. And the only thing I wish is I had longer, went out maybe another month on some of my puts in the market, but we'll see at that. Of course, today, as I said, I thought was a absolute beautiful opportunity. I bought a bunch of stuff. We added one big position to the daily newsletter today, and another time to go at the trough of another one we made some good money on a few weeks ago in the Tech Insider. So to me, it's a wonderful day. It is a gift. Risk reward is, again, amazingly good to the short side. And what else can you say? I'm not playing the S&Ps, by the way. I'm playing other things. So a lot of the things that I've been in have done and performed much better than if I'd gone after and tried to be short all this time the S&Ps. There's better money elsewhere. We have talked about the TLT. We'll get into that right after a little bit of history and some news. But as I said, I'm looking for that TLT to hit 128, 127s, and that may be at least a temporary low in the market. But we'll have to see that. I suspect that maybe we get that tomorrow morning.
And it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
It is history repeating, and on this day in 1965, his unit was outnumbered in an attack by an enemy force. Specialist Lawrence Joel suffered a severe leg wound in the early stages of the battle, continued to administer aid to his wounded comrades. Wounded a second time with a bullet deep in his lungs, he continued to treat the wounded, completely disregarding the battle raging around him and his own safety. Even after 24 hours of the battle had subsided, Joel, a 38-year-old father of two, continued to treat and comfort the wounded around him until his own evacuation was ordered. And he got the highest award that you can give a soldier. But I think if there is a reason for us to go out and vote, it is people like him on this day in 1965 that show us the best of what we can be, not the worst that normally we get on a day that is filled with politics. Other things going on out here, just a little bit of things to make us a little smile.
These high school boys and girls are having a hop at the local soda fountain. Innocently they dance. Innocent of a new and deadly menace lurking behind closed doors. Marijuana, the burning weed with its roots in hell. In this film, you will see the ease with which this vicious plant can be grown in your neighbor's yard, rolled into harmless-looking cigarettes, hidden in an innocent shoe or watch case.
I didn't know it was always in shoes. Anyway, if you've never seen it, that's a little piece from Reefer Madness, which is one of the first exploitation movies out there, and absolutely hysterical. I am by nature a libertarian, which is you can do anything you want. Just don't lie to me about why you want to do it. If you want to get high, that's fine. By the end of Tuesday night, 5 more states could fully legalize weed, and it could be nearly 1/4 of all the nation's population at least legal in the states. It still will be illegal federally, and federals always outshine the locals. In addition, 4 states are voting on whether to legalize marijuana for medical use, and if it approved, pot would become legal in some form in 29 states and Washington, D.C. There still isn't a great deal going on in this. I had a call last week about what we could look at it. We talked about GW Pharma as the only company that actually has any kind of legal ability to do anything. Microsoft has gotten into the taxes of this, but it is still illegal to take cash. Most banks will not in this form. Now, maybe that changes, but there are probably about 10 or 15 stocks in just my brief lookout here that are total and utter frauds that have everything else to do. We also talked about Scott's Miracle Grow, which may be the best stock to have if you're really wanting to be in this business. It is something they can buy. People take cash for it. And in a place where they can't put money in a bank and write checks without getting into all kinds of issues may be a bigger deal. But we'll see how this goes tonight. Just don't lie to me. I know you want to get high. Vote for it if you want. Just don't tell me it's all about everything else. Reefer Madness. What a great movie. We'll see you on the opposite side of this short timeout.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Other things of interest going on out here, some discussion about what's going on and whether or not the polls will really make a big difference today before the close. I do not think so. In the past, these polls have been wildly off. Some people, in fact, I got an email, somebody about whether they thought this new poll from Google would be any different. And I had to ask them, okay, since WikiLeaks, we know that they've been talking with one campaign and we're willing to, quote, do anything it takes to get that candidate elected and the other one not. So I don't know how you can pay any attention to these. In the past, they've been horribly wrong. If you've ever done or been around someone who's done market research, there are many questions that they put on those that are for those that just take the cash and make all the checks real quick and say, okay, I want my $10. They want to make sure that they'll ask 2 questions a lot of times or 4 questions different ways. And, you probably, if you answer one way, you're probably going to answer the same one another way, or they'll ask it affirmatively and then negatively. And that's why these exit polls really don't do anything. They'll get close, but they're wildly inaccurate. Most people believe that they're plus or minus 15% of what anybody would do. They have to take them, go out later that night. By about 8 o'clock, they run them through there and figure out how many of these things where people were just checking boxes or actually lying to the people when they answered the questions. This happens a great deal. Again, Google doing something. We've caught their hands in the cookie jar at least 4 or 5 times already trying to manipulate the election. Do you want to really get into somebody that did that? I'm just not expecting to go to John Harwood or Wolf Blitzer, who've both been complicit in trying to fix the election one way or the other. It's very tough. Historically, these things have been bad. I don't suspect that you're going to see anything decent. And in the past, we have not seen anything decent until everybody's gotten at least a great deal of these, taken them back to their office, run them through the computer, throw out all the ones that have answers that don't jive with the first answers they've had. That's why these things really don't matter until later. In fact, generally much later. Generally, when you get about 2 to 4 weeks down the line, they'll go through all this data and start saying, okay, the white guy that was 30 and married voted one way. This other guy voted the other way. Why did they do that? And they use it for the next election. A lot of what we have today is just noise driven to get you to watch the news tonight. So just kind of ignore it. Mike, on the line.
Yes, howdy.
Howdy, Mike.
Howdy, I'm calling from a trailer park just outside Lutsk.
Wow. Well, there's so many of them there. How would I know which one?
Yeah, that's right. I guess you're going to have to bring your dirt bike up here, huh?
Well, it's really out there in the Crooms, isn't it? You know,
I was just wondering if the TFNN staff there are going to have periodic hourly updates overnight.
I don't think so.
Nah, I can't pay for overtime, huh?
No, I got put in my 1 hour a day, and then I got to go walk the dogs.
That's great for government
So
work.
you actually have a real question, or are you just here to light us up?
TMV.
TMV.
That's right.
What are you thinking about doing with this?
Well, you were bullish back in July on this thing, and you said it on the air. I looked at the chart and said, yep, you're right, and I started loading up, and I don't know. Do you think bonds are going to collapse tonight or very soon?
Well, I'm not looking at this one so much as I am looking at the TLT because I think it's a little easier to get. But I think you're going to hit 20 in this. So that's where I'm looking at it.
That's kind of modest, don't you think?
From here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at all the gaps.
But not,
look at all the gaps on your screen.
Yeah. No, I see it. That gap right at 20 is kind of where I was looking from here. The TLT, of course, is the one that I was actually bringing up, and that was this ABC down, which takes you to about 127 or 128. So we're pretty much there. I think, if I remember right, this is the one where I said this is the best-looking chart, the one we need to be watching out here in the marketplace that's probably the most predictive. We've got a lot more energy from that September 28th high down to this low already than we did from the July 8th high down to the September 15th low. So this is a C to D leg that has a lot more energy. So the best you can hope for is maybe a little bit of a bounce and then a retest of the low. Maybe you get it to low back here. But my guess is that we're probably going to sit at this 128 for a little while, maybe bounce up and down a little bit, and then break it.
Then break it. Okay. So
then
go
break
sideways
it.
And then break it. Okay, another thing is I notice that nobody talks about bond market volatility. Now, gold has the GVZ, and the RVX is for the Russell 2000, and you got the VIX and the VXX, but nobody talks about bond volatility.
You know why?
Why?
Because no one reports everything going on in the bond market. I don't know if you caught it last week during my show, but I brought up about the FINRA. You know who they are? The financial information, whatever. That are basically the nonprofit that are supposed to watch out for us traders and make sure everybody adheres to the rules. They are finally starting to collect bond data and sell data, although it won't be generally available. My guess is that normally they did this same thing in 2008 with short data, and in 2 years it actually became available. But, without
lack of data.
It's a purposeful lack of data. If you pay enough money to these clearinghouses, you can get the data. What they don't want is any of us rubes out here, us people living in trailer parks out there in Lutz, to have any idea or clue. So the FOMC gets the data, Treasury gets the data, big men on Wall Street like the big street names do. But they may pay $50,000 or $100,000. I don't know how much it is, but it's god-awful expensive to get it. And most people on the lower end just cannot or will not spend it. In fact, most mutual funds won't spend the money to get it. It's just a handful of the people at the very top end that spending 50 or 100 grand a year is no big deal.
So Tommy's Bloomberg terminal can't retrieve that bond volatility.
I don't think he has the volatility, but he basically gets a little bit of volume, but I don't think it's anywhere close to what's actually going on in the markets. The first general way of actually making everybody report literally started last week.
Wow!
And if you go back and look on it, maybe 2 weeks ago, but I'll try to find the press release from FINRA. But I actually called them up and asked them what was going on in it. I'll find it during the break, and we'll pull up the webpage on it. It is the first but that is why you don't hear a great deal about what's going on in bonds. You see what's going on in it, but what's really going on behind the curtains is a lot bigger story.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You bet. See you all on the opposite side of this break.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN, and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're back. Previous call, when we talked about why you don't hear a lot about volatility in the bond market. Well, a big part of the bond market is treasuries, and just about no data is available on it. I know Bloomberg does track it as a price that you have to pay extra for. and it's huge. I don't know. I remember just watching it one day and seeing, but even then, what they do is an estimate. I don't think it's real. But this news release from October 19th, which I actually called them about, is FINRA receives SEC approval to require member firms to report Treasury transactions to trace. And even this stuff is not going to be available to you. This is just going to go to, what did they say? Basically, it's going to go to the FOMC and the Treasury Department. So in this whole bond market, it's huge, it's ungainly, and it's opaque. There isn't a lot, and that's why you don't hear the same kind of discussions out here about volatility in the bond market as you do probably where it's a lot easier to see in the equity markets and even in the commodity markets where you know everything. This is much more a game of liar's poker. And, of course, all these guys are big players. They don't want anybody knowing that they're selling or buying anything. But I think now, maybe it was the 1st of November if I went back and read the rest of this press release. But we're finally going to start seeing that stuff. In the past, when the FINRA has done this, they've eventually let all that data become public on their website. So we can hopefully look forward to that, although they wouldn't give me any comment when I did call them. I had a few questions from them because the press release was actually written kind of poorly. You could take it two ways. And they basically just said, yeah, take it the way that we meant it, not the way we wrote it. But not too much in there. Other things going on in the market, just a couple of things out here. We'll get into charts here mostly because it's going to be a very rocky road. But I did have a very interesting question this morning. I said I would answer it on the show today. But basically, the question was distilled into this. How could everybody in the United States looking at this, the exact same thing come up and decide almost perfectly that they wanted to come with a different candidate? How could everybody looking at all the same stuff come up with a different opinion? And since it applies to the stock market too, I will probably try to give you at least a little bit of the model that most people, at least psychologists and other people that delve into this do. And maybe it'll help you get an understanding why some people are bullish and why some people are bearish in the market, and why one person picks candidate A and the other candidate B. It is called a VAK model, and I guess any model or map is not exactly what any body it actually is. It's not, the old saying is the map is not the territory. But psychologists and a lot of people that work on human behavior kind of distilled a model that they call VAK, visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. Everybody is kind of a mix of all three of these. You're not just one, but normally you're primarily one, and then maybe you've got a secondary or a third one. But many people, in fact, most people are visual creatures. Men, highly visual. Women tend to be much more auditory. It's what they hear. And kinesthetic people are more about how they feel when they're moving in their body, whether they're a dancer or a stripper or they work outside. The only thing that they could do out there, if they were a guy, was go out and build houses. They only feel good when they're moving their body. They're either athletes or they're Marines. They're out there doing stuff. They couldn't sit in a chair all day. They'd go insane. So we're kind of a combination of all three of these. So everybody looks at the same things. Somebody might hear some candidate A says that's rather off-putting or blue. Some people may see candidate do something, and that is very important. And the other one, the people, the kinesthetic, are of two types. They're ones where they're actually physically doing something, and the other part that they're very into how they feel about things. This tends to be a trait very put to women, and why you find people like Oprah have massive audiences that are all about feelings, very little about any kind of fact, and they make somebody feel something. The same reason why romance novels are so appealing to women, and very few guys read them. It's all about being taken away or being felt. So we've got a model out here with about 3 different combinations. There's been some rather large studies. About 30% of people are primarily auditory. That is, what they hear is much more important than visual or kinesthetic. About 65% of the population, what they see is more important. That's why a video is much more important. You see a picture of Anthony Weiner in a compromising situation, much more apparent to everybody else than those that just listen to it. Kinesthetic people tend to be the smallest of the bunch. Athletes, ballerinas, strippers, anybody that has to physically move all day for what they do is the smallest amount. They're about 5%. That's primary. In reality, nobody is one of these things. They're a mixture of all those. So when we look at the markets, when we talk about everybody looking at the same thing, even the same chart, all of us have a little bit different view of the world, the way we look at it, and a very interesting idea psychologically for the market because for the most part, we are market psychologists trying to figure out what everybody else is deciding, and do we go along with that? Or if they are all on one side of the boat, do we say maybe the best thing to do is be on the other side? But there are reasons and ideas. When I hear somebody that disagrees with my call, I know that it may be for several reasons. Maybe what they're looking at that I'm not. It may be what they're hearing that I'm not. And it may just be the way that they're feeling about things that I am not. Anyway, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648, and we'll start looking at some charts right away. Some of the biggest movers out here are getting clubbed like a baby seal, and one of those is a car rental agency. Let me get this up here. HTZ. And it gets the loser horn today as it's taken a cliff dive down with significant volume. I haven't had a chance to dig through any of these things. I've been working on them, but probably one of the worst of the bunch out here today. I'll check on the news and headlines, comment on the opposite side. We'll try to get through as many of these as we can before the end of the day.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you like it does me, visit everbank.com/TFNN to find out what they can do for you. Again, that's everbank.com/TFNN. Visit them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile based scanner in the industry. Powered by the acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
And we're back. Anyway, just looking at it here, Hertz Global lost more than half its market value on Tuesday after the U.S. car rental wrote down the value of some of its fleet, forcing it to slash full-year profit forecasts. Car company overpromised performance this year. Chief Executive John Tegg said on post-earnings call. This thing, of course, has been beat up rather horribly. This is not the only one out here, though. Now, on the positive side, ACAD up about 16%. A nice pop in this one. It had come down. Not a bad-looking pattern out here. You had your sign of strength going back into May 28th of this year. Started a whole move, came back up here, came back to the breakout area on November 3rd. Did so with a 2.9 million shares compared to the 14 million shares it gapped up on. Energy, I wouldn't have bought this, but it was very interesting, and that is that it did kind of come down on lighter volume than it did go up into the April 25th high. But a nice pullback, going to get a few bounces. My guess is you're going to get yet another opportunity to buy that one around $21, so don't get too excited. The big losers, BioScript today. It's a penny stock at off 50%. At $1.35. Avis getting a little of side action from Hertz. And birds of a feather on this one, if I can find it. Where's Avis? Oh, it's not Avis, it's Car. There we go. Getting a little side action on this one. It's down 8% on just the side action out here. Volume's still fairly good. See if we have anything else out here. IM Gold is the big gold winner out here that I see. IAG. This has popped today about 10%. It is getting very close to this previous high, which is the September 22nd high. Only 9.8 million shares. We kind of spiked into that with 11 million shares today. So it's getting kind of close. Energy so far is not the equivalent of the energy on the way down, but it's not that far off. So kind of unknown. Another, these healthcare stocks, a few of them out here getting slammed. Kindred Healthcare off 30% today. We'll give it a losing horn too. And and more earnings goodness here from Kindred Healthcare. This is blown now through the last lows that go back to February 16th. You had a bunch of them in an $8 range on January 13th, January 20th, $8.55. Pierced it on a little lighter volume on February 16th. Kind of came back to that congestion level, and as they said, broke through ice rather significantly out here. We'll see if there's anything else out here longer term. No, this thing just, man, maybe we'd have to go back a whole bunch of years on this. Maybe there's something bigger out here. Okay, you've blown through the lows of April 23rd, 2012, and also the May 23rd lows. I don't know if there's anything else. I keep going back and back and back to the warning track out here. No, this looks like November 20th, 2008. Man, this has blown through everything. Kindred Healthcare, watch out. KND, watch out, as they say at Walmart, for falling prices in this one. Let's take a look at some of the other ones out here that may be doing a little better. Man, a lot of these, I got a list of about 20 stocks out here. Valiant, I think someone called last week on it. I said, watch out. This thing could blow up. What a VRX. It did, in fact, blow up. Today it's off 21%. There just isn't anything out here until you probably get to $10. And maybe you get a bounce out of there, but huge volume blowing through all the previous lows. Just can't be any good. When we look at the IBB, I was looking at today as a gift, and I was hoping for $270 on the IBB. Did not get it, so I wasn't able to buy another put on this. But I was looking at about that 270, 272 range, where this thing went sideways pretty much through the 13th of October through the 27th. And figured that that would be where, just above that, if it could get above that, is where I'd pull the trigger yet again for a move to 240. But my guess is that blew off up here, and now it's probably getting ready to go back to that 240 range. What else we have? 2136. We're up now just 4 points on the S&P cash, 2.7 billion shares. And yes, those positions are really starting to make me feel like today was a gift if you're in the bearish camp. What else do we have going on out here? We looked at the IBB, looked at some other stuff. Price line up $100 today. PCLN with Avis and the other ones doing so horribly, rather interesting move out here to me. I thought the wheels would fall off. I never got a great signal on this one. This may be it. If it fails, closes back below about 1476 again. This could just be one of these ones. Be very wary if this thing does open much lower tomorrow. But other than that, you have no signal yet. Got to 1586.59. Has done so on very good volume of 1 million shares. So you have, to this point, a valid breakout. I just don't see the fundamental reason that these things continue to go higher other than accumulating a lot of short positions. Let's look at Expedia real quick. EXPE. Okay, come on, Mr. Expedia. I know you can do it. Come on. I don't know what Mr. Expedia is doing. This came up, pulled back. Not much pin action. Normally these things tend to have a little trading pin action. I'll have to do some more research tonight. Just a couple of dojis on Expedia. But wondering if this can't put something together on that. Let's see what else we have out here. Depot Med off 18%. DEPO. There were a few of these stocks that actually ship and send drugs directly to the people. And I don't know if it was, I'll have to go back and read the article, but it made it sound like there was a few things going on in this sector that would make it a lot harder. Maybe some of these drugs won't be able to be shipped, or they won't be able to buy them directly anymore. But there are a few things going on out here. It may just be a lot of sector talk, but Depot Med, another one down on monstrous volume today, 9.3 million shares, headed back to this gap up, which is the sign of strength. On May 9th, it had 4.4 million shares. We're into that candle today. It did kind of pull back up, but you already have 9.3. This thing's probably going to be moving around to about $16, maybe 16 and a quarter on Depot Med. You still have time to call me at 877-927-6648. Email me at path@tfnn.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And the news on CVS, which is the one I was thinking of this morning, I couldn't remember. There's so many of these stocks, just a ton of them get hammered today. CVS Health Corp may be paying it for its restricted maintenance choice prescription network with more than 40 million prescription losses. That's after rival Walgreens Boots Alliance copied CVS in making agreements with pharmacy benefits managers, middlemen, and the drug distribution business. They've locked out CVS pharmacies. We believe that Prime and Express Scripts are likely happy to join forces with Walgreens in order to offset and counter the success that Maintenance Choice has been having over the last few years. So anyway, we've got everybody fighting over for business out here. CVS down fairly strongly, over 10% today, 2 on a long-term volume. see if we've got anything when we go back farther in these charts. Yeah, man, this thing really took off from about $44.33 on November 16th of 2012. You got a few gaps out here that act as support. You're going to see $68, $64. Trying to see if there's anything out here that's really all that exciting. The next low out here looks that looks like it would be support is about $65. That takes you back to February 5th of 2014. Not a lot. So, man, these things came off. They came off with some volume today, and I don't know what else you can say about it other than that. A few other stocks. People have been asking me if anything's going on that you would want to look at. And probably on an election basis tomorrow, I suspect one of the bigger movers, one or the other, is going to be Smith & Wesson. Let's get a little smaller down here. This one looked like it was in a fairly decent pattern. Let me get out of here. Here we go. Of a possible ABC down. My guess is, of course, if depending on how things go, I think there's 4 or 6 states that are also doing some gun restriction laws, along with, who's going to appoint the next round of people in the Supreme Court, whether or not they're going to molest the Second Amendment or just diddle it a little bit. You got a 50% retrace, maybe a little bit more out here. Energy is fairly light. I would say that if you were looking for stocks that were going to have a lot of pin action after this may be one. Look at it tomorrow. But up on light volume, it's done its retrace out here. In fact, let's just take a look at this one. Not something I'm betting on, but it does look fairly interesting. You're basically coming right up into 618 retracement, which is $28.66. You hit $28.57. So you pretty much got your back up against the wall. If you're looking at this as an ABC on the way down, if everything goes the way of people that love the Second Amendment go, you would see this in an ABC back down to $21.96. One point of news is that they're looking at changing their name and getting out of just the strictly gun business, calling themselves something outdoors, the big outdoors or something like that. They were going to change their name. I don't know why that was a big news article, but it seemed to be earlier in the day. But this is maybe one other stock that would be politically charged come tomorrow. So we'll see about that. But kind of looking like an ABC down right now. Anyway, we'll have a good time tonight. If you're looking something good to do other than the elections, check out The Night Manager on Amazon Prime. We'll see you tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time. Remember to sell when you can, not when you have to.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
You're watching Tiger TV.